Hey traders, and happy Sunday to you. In this weekly video, I go over my currency trades as well as gold and things that I'm looking for the week ahead. I invite you to stick around to the end if you want to see several different currency pairs and gold. We'll be taking a look at all of it. So first, I want to start actually with a pair that I am currently long on and a position that I've got open. I've got 3 lots open on NZDCAD, and you can actually see I'm floating about $1,000 profit on this position. In this quick video, I'll go over, first of all, why I'm long, the entry style behind it, and then we'll go into some things that I'm looking to potentially pick up. So I picked up NZDCAD on a pullback, came down to this 50%, lined up to support, clean technical setup for me. And, that's not the only reason, but from a technical perspective, I've already trailed my stop loss into profit behind this green zone here. This support level formed intra-week, and I'll show you that even like on the 2-hour chart, you can kind of see it. So price comes down to my entry, lines up beautifully with the 50%. No magic here. This doesn't always work, and you can actually see price dipped against me initially. There's no, everybody wants that technical entry that tells them what to do, but it's deeper than that. And I'll go over my full sort of strategy in these videos. If you are subscribed and watching them, you will learn exactly how I trade. There's no secret to it. So 50% gets hit and price rallies off of that level. Well, not only that, we shoot up and then we put in this higher low. And on this big green candle here, I went ahead and trailed my stop loss into profit, ensuring that I can't take a loss in this trade, even if next week we drop through the floor. Now, my goal here is to try and hold this thing back to the highs and potentially trail stops further and further along. I'm not looking to scale out of my trade or anything like that, just looking to trail the stop and let this winner play out. So that's where I'm at with NZDCAD. Why did I take that trade? Well, it was also because it was the strongest buy rating signal on the Edge Finder this week within the watch list tab, which, by the way, we are working heavily on updating all of this stuff for all the different pages. I'll show you this in just a moment, but NZDCAD gets a strong buy. And if I go into NZDCAD over here and pull this up, by the way, check out the new look. The Edge Finder is very much getting worked on heavily right now. And I think that this is a lot more readable. So let's go through this really quick together. I'll show you this. So NZDCAD gets a strong buy. And again, everybody wants the technical entry. This is the easy, cheap stuff. Oh, look, it hit a support level. Let's buy it. That's the easy stuff, right? Everybody can do that. And then they wonder why that by itself doesn't always work. Well, it's because a lot of times you need some extra confirmation. You need something deeper than just price doing a cool little pattern on the chart, right? Of course, that stuff can be valuable, but it's not the only thing. This stuff really matters. Take a look at this with me here, and we can see the Edge Finder gives the NZDCAD a total score of +7. COT data, which gets this +2 category, is showing us that institutionals are buying NZD and shorting CAD. Knowing that information is vital to understanding how we align ourselves with smart money and not just following the crowd. In fact, I'll hover over just a little bit further and look at NZDCAD. 94% of retail traders are short. It's no wonder I wanted to get long, because I don't like to trade on the same side, if possible, as the retail crowd. Now, this is not a always rule. This is just a soft rule. Generally speaking, the retail crowd, when they're piled into a trade, it's a red flag. We keep track of these two variables. It's at the top of our list when we look at currency pairs, commodities, etc. within the Edge Finder. That's why we focus so heavily on this software, and that's why we have over 1,500 people using the tool already. It's a valuable tool and a valuable asset to use within your trading. So seasonality is another one. If we take a look at the month of January, you can actually see it right here. This little line shows us historically what the asset does throughout the year. And you can see that in January, we tend to see a positive increase on NZDCAD. Knowing that is going to be a positive impact. Trend reading, we have an upward trend. That's pretty clear in the recent development. We had a nice pullback, and that was where I got long based on the technicals. GDP growth and unemployment favor the NZD, while inflation numbers favor Canada, inflation being lower in those places. And with interest rates matching, we get a 0 in that category, showing no preferable bias. Although Canadian currency our inflation data comes out this week and is likely to hit 4.5%. So we may lose that one tick there if the NZD does not follow shortly behind it. So we'll take a look at that as we go into things further this week. But that's NZDCAD, and that's why I took that trade. Again, Trade was also shared within the group. If you want access to the Edge Finder, if you want it for yourself, we do have a sale going on. Click the link down below in the description. Use YTVIP at checkout. If you punch in that code, you're going to get a discount off of the software and joining the many traders who are using it. We've been trying to come up with nicknames for people who are using it, but it's been difficult. You know, Edge Finder traders, I don't know. We need a cooler phrase than that. Anyways, let's proceed with some of the other ones, the main stuff here you guys might want to look at. EURUSD here, still in consolidation, and from a technical perspective, we have this kind of chopping back and forth, right? You have support down here, which held very nicely in recent times, but we're still just caught in a range. So for euro dollar bulls, what you'd probably want to see, and it looks like it's trying to do this, would be a break through the highs, right? We need a clean, crisp break to kind of show buyers are still top dog here, if you will. So we need to see something like this break, and in my view, that would be open-end potential to buy the pullback, though the euro dollar is not one that I am super interested in. If we go back to the watch list, I'll show you guys. We filter out everything, and you can see euro USD not on the list as a possible buy. But what about euro CHF, a comparable cousin to euro USD, which does have bias? We can actually see if anything looks interesting here. And you can kind of see we already sort of bounced off this consolidation. Look at that on the daily chart. What a beautiful pullback right there, and already kind of making its move. If you're watching Euro Swiss this week, I would say maybe a break through the highs could offer that same sort of scenario as euro dollar, though in this case, we would probably again want to see a break through those highs, which is a bit further away than euro USD. So anyways, we'll keep going down the watch list, see if there's anything currency wise that looks especially interesting. NZDCHF, a quick look at NZDCHF. NZDCHF exploded off the lows here, so might have missed the run there. However, if we narrow in our view a little bit, and if we can watch for a break through these highs, if this level becomes support, it very well, and what I mean by that is if we break through that level, this level of resistance could offer some bounce back play for just continuations. So I like NZD Swiss on the long side as well. We switch to the other side of the camp, look for things that could be on the bearish side, starting with Aussie yen and Aussie dollar. These things have Edge Finder confirmation to the downside, and so when we're taking a look at this, the zone that's marked up on my chart already is this 91.5 level. If price does rally up into this area, this level has been very resilient on the Aussie yen side of things, holding as a resistance point. The yen getting a bit of a push to the downside there, causing Aussie yen to make a move up. If it does get up into this area, I think you might have some struggle going further, but we'll have to watch. That one's not my favorite. Let's take a look at Aussie dollar, however. So I've mentioned that this thing would be a potential sell for me if it didn't have such bullish price action. Price action here, to me, looks very good for Aussie dollar. In fact, look at this. We came down to a support level and beautifully bounced right off that. So if I'm going to be bearish biased on this, again, according to the Edge Finder and the metrics that we track there, it's getting COT data negative, showing institutional traders very short. Net short on this one. Retail traders are also short though, so I know that can be a bit confusing. So let me just show you real quick. AUD USD. So retail traders are actually short as well as institutional traders, which can be a confusing signal, and it does happen sometimes. So just a little bit of mixed sentiment there. And again, usually retail traders are fading the move. They're trying to short something that's going up, and they're trying to buy something that's going down. So if this thing begins to sort of trend to the other side, I would make a guess that you'd probably see this switch the other direction. You'd probably see retail traders start piling into longs if this thing starts to decline further. So if this thing does sort of start to do that, that may actually be an interesting signal to look to go short, would be if the retail traders start piling into long trades and maybe joining this trend a bit late. That might be something to pay attention to on the Edge Finder. So Edge Finder traders, pay attention to that going into this week. I will be doing the same. And again, looking for a price action break to the downside prior to looking to get short. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, we stay out of that trade and we move on. Let's go back to the watch list, see what else we have. So we looked Aussie yen, Aussie dollar. Let's look at Euro NZD popping up for the first time in a while. Good to see again, Euro NZD. I made some money on this one in the past. You can see even one of my orders back in November where I shorted this one and covered all the way back here. So I remember this trade actually being quite a beautiful one. Some of you guys might even, if you've been watching the channel for a while, you might know I made some money on this one, of course, as well. So this one, not so much. There's some losses there. Took a loss and one big win there. And so, oh, there's more trades. Hold on. Where do we go here? It's kind of nostalgic. So I took a loss here, took a nice big win there, and took a small loss there. So it's been a minute since I've traded this thing. As you can kind of see, it's gone sideways for a number of months here now. What I'd look for if I was to be short biased on this one would actually be a break through the lows. I would need something, pretty decisive. Right now, we still remain pretty choppy overall on the 4-hour chart. So I would need something breaking through the lows here in order to really get interested. So something like this, like a punch through the lows. And that's what I really like to see is I like to see a big, strong break one direction and then looking for that pullback opportunity with edge finder confirmation to look to get short. Hopefully that makes sense. I know we just did a lot, so let's just kind of keep going. And again, you feel free to always watch back the videos if you need to on a particular currency pair or not. CAD yen, pound yen. Let's break down some yen crosses. CAD JPY here. On the sell side, to me, you really only start getting some interest once you get poking up into the 99s, 99 here, as well as, maybe a little bit of resistance at that 98.2. But for the most part, CAD yen probably more interested up at the 99 mark. So for now, not too interested. Pound yen on the sell side, again, confirmation. This one actually looking quite interesting. Not my favorite sort of pattern. Usually, you'll catch me trading things like this where it's just sort of like flowing one way and I'm looking to try and catch something like this. And then if it reverses, I take losses. So that's kind of how I tend to trade. So when you get something like this, which is a range bound off the 4-hour chart, I think I sort of have to look higher time frame, which if you're comfortable with a higher time frame trade, like a daily chart, I don't mind this, right? Because we've sort of just chopped around. Maybe something like that is arguably a possible position, but not my personal favorite. So pound yen, I don't usually trade off the daily chart. I usually stick around the 4-hour chart. But let's keep going down the list. CAD Swiss as a possible sell. CAD CHF from the edge finder. And we could see, one thing, I'll just pause and say this. My absolute favorite thing about the edge finder, yes, all the metrics are cool, but this scoreboard makes my analysis lightning fast. You guys can see how in these videos, in 15 minutes, I'm able to hit so many different charts and know things generally that I want to be long or short on without much hesitation. And that is why I focus so heavily on the edge finder. It makes my process so much quicker and so much easier. And I know, yes, that is a sales point, but it's genuinely, I'm telling the truth. That is genuinely my favorite thing about using it every single day. Remember, you can get access to the edge finder. The link is down below in the description if you'd like to get it for yourself and try it out. Okay, so CAD Swiss, like I said, on the possible sell side, on a rally possibly this week could be of interest, though it seems like we found some local support, some pretty strong buyers coming in around that 68 mark. So not a whole lot here. Let's keep going. Taking a look at AUD NZD next. And if we look at AUD NZD, this one actually was a beautiful setup. I talked about this on Friday. If it was to poke back up, I would have potentially gotten short there. Didn't ever give me that pullback, so I'd missed that trade. And has since sunk back down. So this one, I would say bearish up in that 38.2% retracement. It's already gotten a reaction, so it's not entirely likely that we'll come right back into that. But if we do, I would say possible follow-up sells could be of interest there for me until this level breaks. At that point, I'd probably stop above structure there if necessary. Final one is pound NZD. Pound NZD, very interesting here as price pulls back into a supportive level. I mean, from a technical perspective, I don't love this trade, right? Because you've got a classic break and retest here. And so I'd probably, if I was to be sell biased, I'd need this thing to sort of completely break through the lows and show sellers very strong here. So yes, the edge finder gives us confirmation to the downside, but the technicals don't quite align. And how I trade using the edge finder is, again, I use technical analysis in combination with the confirmation the edge finder gives me. So that's kind of how that works. Final one is, of course, gold. Everybody wants to know about their gold. So let's cover gold here. Gold continues to look from a technical perspective bullish. And, again, price breaking clean through the highs yet again in this past week of price action, chopping around above here, but again, maintaining a bullish presence above levels of resistance. Looks like it should stay strong here. And 2023 is shaping up to be a good year for gold so far. You can already see, right off the rip of the new year, we've continued that upward trend that we started in early November and have again since seen that continue. And again, that's probably likely off the dollar continuing to be so weak as inflation numbers seem to have sort of peaked. We talked about that in what you saw yesterday. If you watched yesterday's video, inflation continues to be on the decline, giving room for indices and the gold market to continue to rise. So again, that seems to be the trend for now. And until that changes, I'll be looking to be bullish on things like gold, bearish on things like the dollar, bullish on things like indices, and bullish on some other counter currencies to the dollar. Again, why I am currently long NZDCAD. NZD getting a bit of a run here across the board last week. So still bullish on NZD until further notice. Thank you guys for tuning in to today's video. If you enjoyed it, hit the thumbs up button and subscribe. Remember, you can get access to our software if you want access down below in the description, or you can join our VIP. Both of them are linked and you can actually bundle them if you are interested. Thank you for tuning in to this week's video, and we will see you back next time. Have a great week.